Hey guys, welcome back to another match preview of Arsenal's upcoming game against Manchester City. For me, one of the biggest games under Mikel Arteta's ever. And it feels like I'm saying that every week the next game is the biggest game of the season. Next week is the biggest game of Arteta's career so far. But it really does feel as every game goes along throughout the seasons, the last 10 games, it just feels every game is just getting bigger and bigger. And I do believe this so far is one of our biggest games yet. Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday. Right now, I'm recording this video on a Friday. It's actually a Saturday night. It's 2 o'clock right now, and I'm recording. I was like, let me just get a video done, and let me just give my thoughts on the whole game and my lineup and my prediction. Now, I'll be honest, I'm nervous. Okay, obviously we haven't played for a long while now. I think it's just been over 1 week, 1.5 weeks. We just done, the international breaks just finished, and I think obviously when we look at the international break, a lot of our players didn't actually go. Some did go. On the top of my head, I'm thinking like Trossard, who I actually forgot about. Trossard, Declan Rice, who else? Martin Odegaard, maybe 3, 4 players went. Obviously, I don't know the rest off the top of my head. But I think in terms of players, we should have a fresh team, and I think it's the first time we're playing against Manchester in a long time where all of our players were fit. When we played them in the Emirates Stadium, it was another big game, and we got the win. And in that game, I remember there was no Saka. Who else was there? There was no Thomas Partey. Actually, there was a bit of it. I think there was Thomas Partey, but I don't think there was Saka in that game. I think we played with even Eddie Nketiah up front in that game. I don't actually fully remember. Yeah, there was no Jesus. I remember. I don't remember if there was a Jesus. But I think it's the first time we are playing against Manchester City where we have a full fit team, man, and it feels different than last season. I think last season when we played Manchester City, especially near this similar time of the season, I think we were done for. Like honestly, I think the team mentally were gone. I think mentally they just given up. And I think for me, even when we were leading up to the game, I really felt myself that I really don't think we have it in us to win, to really beat Manchester City. But this time we are going with 8 wins, 7 or 8 wins in a row. It's completely different. It's a completely different Arsenal, and at the same time, it's a completely different Manchester City from last season. I think Manchester City against the top 6 as well, they only have 1 win, and that was against Manchester United. Now, it does show that they're not performing the best. And I think that even against Liverpool, when you saw it, Liverpool were playing with such a rubbish team, and they still managed. I mean, Liverpool managed to give Manchester City a game, and I think Liverpool are very. They would be upset that why they couldn't come out with a win. But of course, we know Manchester City is a completely different beast at the Emirates, at the Etihad Stadium, and it's a big test for us because I think if we go with there, we are making ourselves favourites. Going and winning at the Etihad Stadium, you go and you win, you become favourites for that Premier League. Now, if we go lose, then you're looking at a very different. Now, for me, I think it just shows how close the title race is. If we win, we become favourites. If we lose, then you would say we're third favourites for the league. So there's a lot of pressure riding on this game. But I like this because for so many years, for so many seasons, we've been seeing Liverpool and Manchester City go at each other. And I kept thinking to myself, when are Arsenal going to be in this position? And finally, we are in this position. So I think as fans, we should appreciate these moments, big pressure moments, and appreciate it because I think we're different from last season. I think when we went to the Etihad last season, I think Manchester City beat us without even getting out of gear 3. Honestly, they just plowed through us. Now, I'm hoping it's going to be a much tighter game. I do believe we have improved from last season, especially defensively. I think last season Manchester City were doing over the ball, long balls, and they were catching us. A lot of fans were going to say Rob Holding and stuff. I think it's unfair to blame one whole player for a collapse because there were so many players that performed bad. But as mentioned, we are going as a different team compared to last season. Of course, in terms of injuries, we know that Kyle Walker is out injured, which has just been confirmed, and John Stones. In terms of Arsenal, there's been some rumours about the 3 Gabriels potentially missing out. Jesus, the centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes, the centre-back, and Martinelli. I think the only one I would be worried for is Martinelli. I don't think he would be fit for this game. I think he might just be on the bench. But knowing Arteta and Arsenal, I think we might see him play this game. because when you look at no Kyle Walker, Martinelli has whoever he is playing is going to be whoever plays in that right back is going to be slower than Kyle Walker. So that is going to be another weakness. And if you remember in the reverse fixture, as Martinelli did come on, he was the one who actually changed the game. So I'm hoping he can come on and do the same thing. In terms of our record against Manchester City in the Etihad Stadium, it is poor, man. It is so rubbish. Literally, I don't remember the last time we even beat Manchester City in the Etihad Stadium, and I don't remember the last time Manchester City lost in the Etihad in a big game. These guys always pull it off, and I think, look, they are the best team in the world. I mean, you'd be stupid to say anything else. Manchester City are the best team in the world. Now, am I expecting Arsenal to go win? No, I am not expecting Arsenal to go win. For me, just don't lose. Literally, that is the main thing. Just don't lose. Stay in the game. Just stay close to Manchester City and Liverpool and hope one of them drop points. Because for us to go beat Manchester City is a big task. And I know a lot of media is saying, a lot of fans are saying, oh, Arsenal have to go beat Manchester City. When was the last time Manchester City or Liverpool went to each other's ground and beat them? When was the last time Manchester City went to Anfield and beat them? When was the last time Liverpool went to the Etihad and beat them? See, this is absolute garbage. This is garbage of Arsenal need to win. It's not a must-win game, but what it's a must-not-lose game. We must not lose, okay? That's the main thing. If you were to offer me a draw now, I'll be honest, I would take it. I would take the draw. For me, it's just don't lose, okay? That is the main thing. Just don't lose the game, because Manchester City are going to be up for it, especially after that performance they dropped against Liverpool, a stinky performance. They're going to want to get some revenge and really put things right, because they know if they win against Arsenal in the form we are in right now, it would I think it would give them the extra motivation that they need. And Manchester City during this time of the season always just hit a new gear, and that is the experience and everything. Just forgot to turn off that light. And that is the experience they have from being in these competitions so many times. But look, in terms of my feeling, I am confident. I think we are in a much better position from going to. I think this is the best time for a very long time. We are going to the Etihad Stadium. A solid defense, a decent midfield is another way. Who is actually going to start in the midfield? Is Jorginho going to play, or is Thomas Partey going to play? For me, it depends. If Thomas Partey, when he has been playing recently, of course he's just come back from an injury, really looks quite not confident right now. He makes these simple passes. Like before, he always used to make these these line breaking passes. Recently he's just been playing as simple. I think it's just because he's trying to get some match fitness, which is expected. So I do think this game might be a bit too soon to drop Thomas Partey back in, because firstly, he hasn't played in a long time, and dropping him into a game in the Etihad against Manchester City it's going to be a big risk. So I would be in favour of starting Jorginho, but at the same time, is Jorginho going to get overrun in that Manchester City midfield? So that's another thing to worry about. But my lineup, I'll be honest, I'd go with the same exact lineup that we have been going. Kai Havertz up front, and of course Martinelli, Saka, Declan Rice, Jorginho, Martin Odegaard, Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba. Now the left back is who is the one that I am thinking about. Should we go with a Zinchenko or should we go with a Kiwior? If you go with a Zinchenko, attacking wise, you have an extra man. He can overlap and everything, invert, adds an extra man into midfield. But at the same time, defensively, he isn't the best right now. And I think who is the left back? The right wing. It's got to be Phil Foden, who is a very tricky player. So who do you go with? Do you go with the Kiwior, more defensive? For me, I would go with the Kiwior. I think go defensive first in this game. I'm not expecting us to go flipping gun-ho in this game and make the same mistake we made last season. I do think this team have changed. So for me, I think Arsenal need to be a bit smart with this game. I think we need to show we have experience. Now, if we go gung-ho, I don't know, maybe we can do it, but I do believe we just can't leave ourselves exposed against Manchester City, because these guys, you give them a bit of chance, the Haaland, the De Bruyne's, you give them a bit of chance, they will take it. So that's what's important. But for me, just don't lose. That is literally my simple request. Just don't lose in the Etihad Stadium, because if you lose, it's going to be very difficult. If you lose, we're on 64 right now. If Liverpool win, they go on 60. We're 3 points behind Liverpool. So for me, just don't lose. A draw is fine. A win is perfect. By my prediction, I do think it will be a draw. I just think City are just a bit better than us. So that's why I'm not going to go for the win. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. But it's a big test for us. So catch you guys.